Mikel Arteta's side are 12th in the Champions League table with 2 wins and a draw from their 4 games so far. Last time out, of course, in the competition, they lost 1-0 away to Inter.
They're not in the top 8, no?
They're not in the top 8, no.
Oh, okay.
Why you said that? Oh, hold on, you're in the top 8 in the Premier League? Yeah, you are as well. How ironic is that?
Thank you.
Arsenal will be hoping that they've turned a corner, though, after their 3-0 win. Good win as well against Forest on Saturday. And some key players have returned from injury. Sporting, meanwhile, are flying in Europe. They sit second in the table and they're still unbeaten with 3 wins and a draw so far. Gabs, how much do Arsenal need a result tonight to get back on track a bit in the Champions League? Because it's not panic. Of course, it's not panic stations yet. But, you know, you don't want another defeat.
Not at all. And they've got Monaco to play, which is a tough game. Monaco are flying in the Champions League as well. They've got Dynamo Kiev as well. So you know what it is? You want to get into that top 8 as soon as possible.
Yeah.
A win tonight gets them in there above Aston Villa. And it's a difficult game, though. Let's not forget what Sporting Lisbon done to Manchester City 4-1. On the weekend, they played in the Cup and won 6-0 against a not very good side. But it's a tough game, mate. The atmosphere that they have there, they're going to want to continue the form that they had with Ruben Amorim after he's left as well.
Yeah.
They're going to want to not have a drop. So I think it's a very tough game tonight. Wouldn't surprise me with a Sporting win.
They have lost their manager. He's gone to, of course, the biggest club in world football.
Real Madrid.
How much of a test is it going to be, do you think, for them now?
I think it'll be a test for them, but we've seen it before, mate, with like clubs when they've lost managers. Look at it, for instance. I know it's not a big club, Brighton.
Yeah.
Brighton have lost Potter, bring in De Zerbi, do well with him as well. Now they've got the new manager, do well with him. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Sporting Lisbon, I would imagine the players will want to continue it with the new manager they've got in charge. But this is a tough game for Arsenal, and maybe you could call it a free hit sort of game as well, with the games that they've got available at home as well.
Yeah.
There's no pressure on Arsenal to go and win tonight. I think they'll take a draw now.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fixtures. Arsenal's remaining fixtures in Europe, they're Monaco at home, Dynamo Zagreb at home, and Girona away. Are you confident they can finish in that top 8?
I think so, yeah. I think Girona away, they can win. Zagreb as well, they can win. What was the home game? Monaco at home. Tough game, but at home you expect Arsenal to get a result. I think they take a draw tonight, and I think Arsenal would want to get into that top 8 because the playoffs, mate, you never know. And there could be some big teams that are in them playoffs that you want to avoid.
Well, let's continue our build up to tonight's game and then chat to your commentator, your co-commentator tonight, our old mate, former England and Burton Albion striker, Darren Bent joins us live on Drive. Benty, can you hear me?
How you doing, guys? You all right?
Good evening,
Well,
Benty.
that's a nice clear line. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, really, really good. Flew to Portugal from Wembley this morning.
Oh, yeah?
So, yeah, all good.
What's the weather like there, Benty?
Lovely. Beautiful.
Good stuff, mate.
Beautiful.
Good stuff, yeah. You got your shorts on.
What was the flight like? Was it good? Is it?
How do you work with this comedian 5 days a week, Benty? One day will do me every 3 weeks, mate.
Right, listen, Benty, let's talk about it in more detail now, because, of course, it is a massive game of football. We were just talking, I don't know if you heard the end of that chat, about how important it is for Arsenal to finish in that top 8. There's some tough games coming up. What's your view as to the next few games, including tonight for Arsenal?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, currently Arsenal 12th in the Champions League. They're better than that. They've had kind of mixed results, beating PSG and Shakhtar. The Inter Milan game was always going to be tough, but Sporting will be tough. And I think people are getting a little bit carried away with the Man City performance and result, and we'll get onto that. But I'd expect Arsenal to finish inside the top 8. They've got Monaco at home next, then they've got Dynamo at home, and they finish off with Girona away. So I'd more than expect Arsenal away from home to be able to get the job done, and even maybe potentially before the last game of the group phase, and then they can even rest players. But yeah, tonight's massive. I think tonight is going to be huge. But as I said, I just think people are getting a little bit carried away with the result against City.
Benty, when you look at the players that Arsenal got available now, Odegaard's back in. On the weekend, I don't think Martinelli and Havertz didn't start, did they? Would you expect them both to come in tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that left-hand side's been a bit of a problem this season for Arsenal, as you said there. I think Odegaard coming back's massive. Absolutely. Yes. We saw that impact at the weekend against Forest, and although it was a slight assist, you can just see how more comfortable Arsenal are in that final third. Just knowing that they've got someone who's willing to take the ball, take a little bit of risks, can see a pass when others don't. So the fact that he's back's massive. Martinelli, I probably would put back on the left-hand side, and Havertz up top. I know Havertz hasn't got a goal for a little while. Martinelli's form's been a little bit patchy, but I think with those two guys, you know what you're doing. I mean, Gabriel Jesus is a prime example. I mean, he hasn't scored a league goal since January of last season. Now that's no form whatsoever. I know he got a goal in the cup, but I certainly would go with maybe Havertz up the top and Martinelli on the left.
But I'm going to ask you a question now, and on the back of the question is another question. It divided the room when we had this chat earlier on, okay?
Yes.
So what's more important for Arsenal this season? Is it the Champions League or the Premier League? Before you answer it, whatever one you would take, Spurs would win the other.
Well, do you know what? I mean, it's a great question, and I personally would take the Champions League.
Oh,
So that means Spurs become Premier League champions?
Yeah, and the only reason I say that, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans maybe are screaming at the radio going,
Dell,
what?
that's Dell as well, mate.
Right, but I just think, listen, I've been fortunate enough to be one of those people that have seen Arsenal win the Premier League 3 times. I was also one of those unfortunate people that saw them get beat by Barcelona in 2005-6 2-1. So I've seen Arsenal do it, and yes, if Spurs win the Premier League, listen, fair play to them, but that is just box ticked. Then, do you know what I mean? I'm sick. Then I ain't got to work with you every day saying Arsenal don't sit at the top table.
Benty, I said this to Dal, Arsenal fan, of course, and I said that, like, Arsenal, wherever they go now, if they go to a team like Forest, Villa, Manchester City, Chelsea, Manchester United, is like, have you ever won a European Cup? That's the main song, isn't it, throughout the game? They've got that on you, haven't they? So surely, as an Arsenal fan, as a player, as a club, you have to get that Champions League. Like Man City, the relief from Man City first won it.
Do you know what it is, that Gabs, as well? I do think it's a generational thing as well, because Dell's obviously a fair bit younger than us.
Yes.
But Arsenal have not like won the league for 20 years. So,
true.
do you know what I mean? So they want to see, and I understand that.
You sure you got that right?
Honestly, they want to see Arsenal win the league, and I fully understand that. But I think there's one box left to tick for Arsenal, and that's the Champions League. And if they do that, then fair play. But until they actually do that, then unfortunately, with the likes of Villa, Nottingham Forest, City, United, all these top teams that you're speaking about, they can't dine at that top table because they haven't won it.
What on the back of that then? What do you think you got more chance of winning? You're 9 points off Liverpool. It doesn't at the moment look like the Man City we know and love. So what competition do you think Arsenal got more chance of winning, Benty?
Well, I've always said Champions League, and I stand by that, because I think consistency over 38 games is tough, and especially when you've got the likes of City, Liverpool, even Chelsea are playing well this season. Do you know what I mean? Your boys could turn up Villa. I think Champions League, at times, it does get luck of the draw. You could be on the more favourable side of the Champions League draw and maybe get away with it. So I think Arsenal, for me, have got more chance of winning the Champions League than the Premier League for sure.
Okay. Before we let you go, give us your prediction for tonight.
I think it'll be tough, but I'm going to go for Arsenal to win 2-1.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, 2-1.
Anything you want to add, Gav?
Andy, you're naughty.
What?
No, I'm not asking him that.
Well,
Benty, he's up to no
What
good.
are you
Benty.
talking
What was
about?
he going to say? What was he
Benty,
gonna say?
I'm not going to say it, mate. He's up to no good.
Look,
He's asking me to describe your view, Benty.
No,
He's being
I
naughty.
was just saying, what's it like in the stadium?
I mean, the stadium looks absolutely beautiful. They're just setting the cones up for the warm-up, so looks lovely.
Bit early, isn't it?
No,
Right,
obviously,
listen.
Benty,
Benty, always a
Top man,
pleasure.
Benty. Enjoy, pal.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate.
There you go. That was a look at today's Champions League action
funny
with
guy,
our
you.
friends at Enterprise Rent a Car.
Champions League preview on talkSPORT with Enterprise Rent a Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
Right, this might be question of the week. Arsenal fans.
Yes,
03717 223344. Champions League and Premier League. What would you rather win? And whatever is the one you don't choose, Spurs win it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Can I add something quickly?
Yes, you can. Of course you can.
I asked John Terry this question before the show.
Did you?
I asked him.
What? Hold on. What are you talking about?
I asked him, would you,
When did you do this?
if you could win one trophy
Yeah.
domestically in your whole career, only one, what would you choose? And he found it a very hard decision, but chose the Premier League.
Did he?
But then he understood my point of when you win the Champions League, you're in an elite category.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? An elite group.
He didn't slip up on that question, did he?
For God's sake. He's
When did you ask
he's
him
listening,
that?
you know.
When did you ask him that question?
He's listening.
Yeah, of course he's listening. Everyone
Naughty
listens.
you are,
When
you
did you ask him the question?
Before the show.
What, he
After
texted
our
him?
meeting. Yeah,
No,
had
he
a
kept
good
that quiet,
relationship.
didn't
I told you.
He didn't.
Didn't I? Sorry,
No,
mate.
he'd tell us.
He was on the phone.
If a superstar like that, he'd tell us that
Sorry,
information.
mate. Yeah, but it's a good question. I want to hear from Arsenal fans.
What do you
definitely.
think I think the fact that you chuck in at the end of it and Spurs win the other, I think because most
I
Arsenal
don't
fans
think-
will go Prem, but then all of a sudden if you go, well, you're champions of England, but Spurs are champions of Europe.
We're not wouldn't let Spurs be champions of Europe before them.
What
No
ones
way.
would you choose, Villa and Birmingham?
Oh, I'd be like, well, we've already won it, haven't we?
No, but what one would you choose?
Well, we've already won it.
I know you have, but what
But
one
I
would
would
you
choose the same as what Arsenal would choose. I wouldn't want my rivals to win the European Cup before my team.
so
But we've
you-
already won it, so it's a
But
hard
what one
question
would
for me
you
to-
choose if Birmingham win the other?
Oh, I'll choose Champions League. Let Birmingham
So Birmingham win the
league.
Prem.
Yeah, let them win it.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.